Yeah, so one of the things that I wanted to do with this topic, we had talked before E3. One of my topics was kind of just a rundown of all the different things that we knew about going into it so that we didn't forget about all those precious games once the wave of E3 hit us. So now that E3 is back in the rearview mirror, I wanted to go ahead and do another rundown and just look at what we got here. I'm sure my list is missing something, so Jared will just have to help me out there.
Okay. Is this
Um,
like quickie, like
so
awesome? We just give like a you say it and we're like, yeah, cool or whatever. We're just running down the list.
yeah, it's this is really a list for all the things coming out the rest of this year and then into next year. So yeah, I'm not going to be breaking down every game
Oh
individually,
yeah,
but
just
we
going through
can
the list.
stop.
Okay.
Yeah, we can stop by and talk about things that we're really excited for.
Okay.
So we'll go by month, and yeah, I'll try to keep this quick because it is a long list. This month we have Odin Sphere came out on the same day as Mirror's Edge Catalyst. Odin Sphere I'm excited to play, but it is a PS2 remaster at $60 on the PlayStation Store, so I'm definitely going to be waiting on that one. And then Mirror's Edge Catalyst had kind of mediocre reviews. I was really hoping that the game was going to be rated a little higher, so I'm sure I'll play that, but it's going to be later on. And then we have one of my favorite game titles, Jared, um, in a long time. It's been a while since I've loved a game title this much. We have on June 28th, coming up here in just a few days, Star Ocean 5 Integrity and Faithlessness.
God.
Doesn't that just scream Japanese game? Like, what the hell are you guys doing over there with these naming conventions? And then on that same day of June 28th, we have the Technomancer. Do you know about this game, Jared?
I know Crypto Dancer or something. I don't know
So
that
no,
one. Yeah.
no, you do not know this game. So this is from Spiders. Let me look up Spiders real quick. They're a game development studio. I think they're European, and they have made several games, but they're all kind of games that people enjoy, but they got kind of low ratings. And they're maybe like cult classics, I guess you could say. But Technomancer is an open world RPG. You're a fan of BioWare or specifically Mass Effect, I should say. So I think you'll be interested here. It's basically about like humans colonizing Mars, and
Oh, cool.
you're kind of like a monster hunter on Mars, and so you get these kind of like biotic powers from Mass Effect, and you go out and fight these monsters on Mars. And yeah, like I said, Spiders is not a huge game studio, and they've had more like cult classics. But I think that this might be their time to shine, and this might be the sleeper hit that puts them on the map. Their list of games is a couple of Sherlock Holmes games, which are actually pretty popular. People rate those highly. Of Orcs and Men, Bound by Flame, and I think both of those two are set in the same universe, which those are kind of like action RPGs. And then of course we have Technomancer coming out later this month. So yeah, this is a big sleeper here. It could go either way. Not a whole lot of media attention on this, but it is coming out at the end of this month, and it is an action open world third person RPG set in a sci-fi universe. So that is right up my alley, man. So I'm watching this one cautiously, I would say. Then after that, next month we have Song of the Deep, which is going to be, I guess, GameStop's first published game. Is that right?
I think so. Yeah.
For Game Watch,
Yeah.
which is a collaboration with Insomniac, and it's about a girl in a submarine trying to find her father, I think. So it looks cool, but it's not anything that is something I would run out and get day one or download day one. But then on July 19th, we have one of my most anticipated games right now, I Am Setsuna. Jared, you know about this one?
Yeah, it's a game called I Am Setsuna, where in the first part of the game you rename the character, right? Or you can rename the character.
I didn't even know about that. I guess Setsuna is this girl who's been sentenced to death, but she has one task, a mission that she wants to carry out beforehand, and so you, as the other characters, group along with her and go on this adventure. It is a top-down JRPG that is heavily influenced from classic RPGs like the Final Fantasy series or Chrono Trigger. So these are a type of game that I've been getting into a lot this year. And so Setsuna looks like part of this Japanese revolution that I've been talking about, where there's all these awesome games coming out over here in the West that I think are really going to revitalize that JRPG genre that it needs a lot of revitalization right now.
I think Shovel Knight to 2D platformers is what this game could possibly be for that genre. You know, I think modernizing it a bit, still having that same feel of what the classics had and people loved about them, but doing enough differently for a modern take that people really latch onto it. You know, it looks cool. Definitely not my type of game, but it looks awesome. So
the connection to Shovel Knight, that's a good point to make, man.
Yeah.
Then we have We Happy Few coming out at the end of July.
So stoked.
That is just for Xbox One. I think it'll be coming to PS4 eventually, but it looks like, I'm going to have to crack open that Xbox.
I cannot wait.
It's PC and Xbox. Yeah, it's okay, so it's an Xbox preview release on July 26th.
Okay.
So you know about the preview campaign or whatever?
Yeah, I'm part of that. You get to play the game for a certain amount of time. Usually, I think it's an hour or maybe a little bit longer than that. And you get to preview the game, so it's not out yet, but you get to preview it before it comes out to basically determine. It's an extended demo. That's the easiest way to put it.
Okay, yeah. So it looks like it'll come out this fall and probably next year for PlayStation. And is the Xbox preview thing where you also like get the updates early and stuff, like
yes.
betas of updates? And
I don't think they're.
Like, I remember you guys got special software for your controllers at one point and all that shit.
I don't know if they're necessarily the same thing. I am part of both, but I don't know if they're the same thing. I think the preview thing, was with the people who were in beta, but then once it became a feature, I don't think it's only for people who are part of the beta program.
Okay. So yeah, it looks like that game, the actual full game, is going to be out later on this fall. So my mistake there. I forgot to make that note.
What about Inside?
Then Inside, yes, that was the next one on my list. Yep. And that is, what is it, July 28th?
July 28th or 29th. I couldn't remember if it was June or July. That's what I was waiting to see if you had it on your list. July 29th.
It's July 28th for sure. Because I remember them talking about that in the 2 seconds that they mentioned this game at the Microsoft conference. That is from the developers of Limbo, and it looks like it has a really creepy vibe still. Looks like it's got a lot of hints of like a 1984 or something like that, like a dystopian society where emotion is not necessarily on the top of the list. So I'm very excited about that.
If you love dystopian things, you have two things right there. You get a preview of We Happy Few, and you have Inside in less than a week of each other.
That may make you want to go off the deep end, dude.
George Orwell would love that week in gaming.
Yeah, exactly. So then we get to August, and we have No Man's Sky on the 9th, which obviously got delayed from earlier in June. This one I am totally on the fence on. Definitely going to have to see reviews, definitely going to have to see how the community reacts to it and how gamers as a whole treat this, because this game just hasn't proven itself to me thus far.
I said earlier in like a podcast maybe right before E3, and I'm not taking it back. I think this will be the most disappointing game of this year. And I don't think it's going to be a bad game. Absolutely amazing. I think it has such high expectations that it's not going to meet. I think the ceiling for this is so high, kind of like how Dom said that his expectations for the 1986 or 1886 or whatever the hell that game's called, that the expectations for it were so low that he actually was surprised by it. I think that this game's expectations are so high, people are going to be disappointed. I think that its ceiling is higher than Final Fantasy 15 or any other, or Last Guardian. And I think it's not going to hit that. I think it'll be a decent game, but we'll see. Maybe he'll prove me wrong, and I'll be a big dumb idiot dummy. So
big dumb. Yeah, we'll get if it turns out not to be the most disappointing game of 2016, then we'll have to get you like a.
I'll tweet. I'm a big dumb idiot t-shirt. Dummy. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get you like a necklace to wear around or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are still in August here with one of my most anticipated games of the year, Deus Ex: Mankind Divided, on the 23rd. Are you excited about this game at all, Jared?
No, and that's not because how would I say this? I have no familiarity with the series. I actually have Mankind Divided, or is that the first one? What's the first one? Yeah.
No. This is Mankind Divided. The first one is Human Revolution.
I have it downloaded. It was an Xbox Games with Gold free game, and I have it downloaded. I just haven't gotten to it. It's one of those games that, like, and I hate to make this comparison because I don't think it is necessarily true. It feels very Metal Gear to me, where I'm afraid that I'm too late in the story to get a gist of what's going on, because it seems very complicated, you know?
I would disagree, because the original Deus Ex takes place after these Deus Ex games.
Okay.
So, like, Human Revolution and Mankind Divided are their own prequel trilogy.
Okay.
So, I actually need to play the first game too, but I know this sci-fi universe looks
super awesome
to me.
I love sci-fi. Yeah.
I'm gonna dig this. So then we got like Madden and F1 and some sports games. Abzu, are you excited about that at all? August 2nd. It's like some of the developers from Journey and the guy I think that worked on the music in Journey, and it's kind of like if Journey was underwater. It's like an underwater exploration game. Yeah. So something to look out for. PC, PS4, August 2nd. And then you and Dom will enjoy this. You're getting your Nuka World DLC in August for all systems, and that is going to be the last big piece of Fallout 4 story DLC.
I'm happy that that's going to be the last piece of DLC, so that way they can start working on other stuff. So
yeah. And then we have September. We have just some quick games to throw out there. We've got XCOM 2 finally coming to consoles, which is actually really big. I'm excited about that. We have Recore, which is an Xbox exclusive that is, we just found out, is going to be a $40 budget game.
Everyone playing that game says it's not what you expect, that it plays better than it shows. A lot of people I've seen talk about that say it's a completely different experience than what you expect when you play it. So I'm excited. The $40 price point will definitely help it out a lot. So that's all I have to say.
Yeah, I think it's going to be... people are going to be pleasantly surprised with that game because of the $40 price point. It lowers your expectations to where you don't get disappointed.
Yep.
Then we have Destiny Rise of Iron DLC.
Blech.
I guess none of us are Destiny fans around here. We got some more sports games. And then we got Final Fantasy 15 on September 30th. I know, Jared, you're getting pretty hyped on this game, aren't you?
I was until that E3 demo. Remember?
Jesus.
Yeah.
The can't hit a single button, dude. Yeah.
This is a game I will I'll call it now. I will play this game beginning to end. I don't know if I'll buy it at release though. It might be a game I get later on, but I will play that game. If anything, Final Fantasy Remake of 7 definitely has me the most intrigued because it's a game a lot of people love. And if, once again, going back to the bringing old things and making them new, if I'm able to experience that story in a more modern take, I definitely think that'd be super awesome. But yeah, Final Fantasy 15, I think it has good expectations. I think fans of Final Fantasy are a little bit more reserved in their expectations than the people who are excited for Last Guardian or No Man's Sky. That's why I don't think... I don't know if this game will be a disappointment or not, and if it is, that's why I'm saying No Man's Sky has the biggest possibility, because I don't think Final Fantasy 15's ceiling is as high as No Man's Sky right now. You know, the hype isn't getting pushed up that high. So...
Well, I would even go so far as to say that these Final Fantasy fans are just used to disappointment at this point with the trilogy for 13 that they just got. The 13, 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Nobody liked those.
Well,
I mean, I wouldn't say nobody liked them, but they were just... Overall, I would say each one was its own disappointment in a way.
I think this game will be a 7 at worst. A 6.5, a 7. I don't think it'll be worse than that. I just can't see that, so...
You were talking about being day one earlier. I think I was day one, but yeah, now I'm just probably going to wait for reviews because this is a 10-year-old game, and they are still having some problems showing it, and so, yeah, it's... Even though I am getting into Final Fantasy right now, I still think I'm not such a big fan that I have to buy it day one.
Did we miss Last Guardian?
No, we are coming up on October.
Okay. For some reason I thought it was August, so I just remember that wrong. My bad.
October is a big old month. One thing to point out, I just wanted to talk about the fact that, you know, we just got through the summer, and that was pretty quick because there wasn't a whole lot of big releases. You know, we're in this mode right now with the release windows and formats of video games being that a lot of stuff gets released in the fall, right? All the big games, the big blockbuster titles get released in the fall. And those that were meant to be in the fall but got delayed, those are pushed into the beginning of next year. So now we're in this point where the last couple years, and obviously 2017, the springtime is going to be huge for game releases because of all those delays. But then even 2017 summertime still doesn't look that hot right now. It looks like you're going to get a couple of games, one in June, one in July, one in August, just like we did with Witcher and Batman last summer. And this is stuff that keeps you held over throughout the summer, but I'm just really wishing, like, I know you guys are trying to get these games out as fast as possible, and so you're just delaying them from last fall to the spring and trying to make that your new time to shine. But I really think there's plenty of developers who would be like, you know what, we're delaying it into next year. Let's delay it all the way into next summer and take up some of these spots that are just wide open. And I know for a fact that there are plenty of gamers who want to get out of the hot-ass weather and sit down and play some video games during the summer. So I just don't see why this is still a thing when we've obviously come so far as to say, look, spring is huge now for games. Let's make summer huge, too.
Well, even this, like, I would be okay. I don't want Andromeda to get delayed, but if it got delayed, I would not want fall. That'd be cool if they said mid-June. So I get all my E3 stuff. I love E3. I watch all this stuff. E3's done. I get to dive into Mass Effect Andromeda.
Can you imagine if, it is still kind of a drought next summer, but you get Mass Effect in, like, May or June where you can just play it all summer and just dive in?
Yeah, I want some games to take advantage of that summer slot. What else we got, though?
Okay, so yeah, running through here, October I am going to run through this because it is stacked. Right. On the 7th, we've got Mafia 3. On the 11th, we have Gears of War 4. PlayStation VR comes out October 13th. Then we have Battlefield 1 on the 21st. Civilization 6 on the 21st. The Last Guardian on the 25th. Titanfall 2 on the 28th. Skyrim Special Edition on the 28th. Dragon Quest Builders finally comes over in October. People are actually pretty excited about that. Batman Arkham VR, which I think will be pretty big, and then WWE 2017 in October.
Who has Goldberg, which is cool. I love Goldberg. He was my favorite wrestler as a kid.
Dude, that October month is looking like the new November.
It is insane, yeah.
So then, but still, November's pretty stacked. We got COD Infinite Warfare, November 4. Dishonored 2 on November 11th, Gran Turismo Sport on November 15th. That game's going to be huge, as well as Watch Dogs 2 on the 15th. Then we've got Pokemon Sun and Moon, November 18th. South Park Fractured But Whole, December 6th. Well, this is weird. They just grouped these months together. So yeah, I guess we're moving into December here. Steep, the Ubisoft game that they just unveiled, is in December.
Oh, that comes out this year. Wow.
Yeah, that is kind of weird. Might get delayed since it just says December. It doesn't even have a date.
Probably quarter 4 is what they have or something, and it's just like we're going to,
Right. So yeah, on the 6th, you have both South Park and Dead Rising 4. And then sometime in December, we're also going to get Kingdom Hearts 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue HD,
I think
as they like to call it.
Through the whole list, I think we only missed one thing. Forza Horizon 3 comes out in September.
Yeah, how did I miss that?
Yeah, I think that's the only thing we missed. Everything else seems pretty good.
Yeah, it was on this list. I just skimmed over it. My bad.
No problem. First, I really hope that's awesome. All those games are coming out October, November, packed as usual. There's 2 games that aren't slated for this year or don't have a release date that I hope do. Below, I really hope that game comes out this year. Cuphead's the one I don't think will hit this year. Below, I think still has a chance of popping up at Gamescom, and it's available in a couple of weeks. Katana Zero, which I did an indie hype for. That guy said it's going to be 2017, but I'm just being super optimistic. How interesting would it be if Yacht Club Games showed up at Gamescom and showed off Shovel Knight 2? That'd be cool. Yeah, a lot of good stuff coming out this year. I think it's going to be a really good packed fall as usual. Though there's a lot of games, there's not a lot of games that come out so close together that I'm feeling super jaded about it. A lot of games, it's like I'm going one way or the other. For instance, December, Fractured But Whole looks super cool. I'm not a South Park guy, so Dead Rising 4 definitely has my vote there. We already talked about Titanfall 2 over Battlefield 1 for me personally. So there is definitely a lot of easy choices for me personally, but for people who love a lot of those things, it's going to be hard.
So just to wrap this up, I'm just going to skim through the list of games that have been announced, but don't have a release date. First, we'll start off with stuff that we think is actually going to come in 2016. Batman Telltale should probably be out this year, and then I think even
they talked about the first episode is going to be the end of summer.
Right, and then Walking Dead Season 3 will start in the fall, so Telltale's got a big year ahead of them. Below, you mentioned that. Super Hot. Hopefully we'll get that on console soon.
Super hot.
Friday the 13th. Have you seen anything about that game? That game is actually looking pretty cool.
Yeah, it's there's a new game out now called Dead by Daylight, which is essentially an asymmetric multiplayer game. It's 4 survivors against 1 murderer. It seems like they did what this Friday the 13th game is doing, but on a smaller scale. It's more of an indie-ish game. It looks very cool. It looks like an asymmetric multiplayer game that makes sense. I bought Evolve. I got Super
The monster killing the kids or whatever.
Yeah, and it doesn't necessarily rely on teamwork as much as Evolve did. That's a huge thing with Evolve is it was so predicated on teamwork that it crushed that game. The fact that you can go as a team or you can just be, screw you guys, I want to survive the night, I think is pretty cool. This has the possibility of becoming a franchise-esque thing where the next one's like Freddy Krueger or something like that. I think it's a really smart way to do asymmetric gameplay. Adam Sessler actually has his hand in this too. He's a consultant or something, I think. Something along those lines. He's somehow involved in this game, and anything Adam Sessler's involved in, I'm 100% in because he's awesome.
Shout out to Adam Sessler, dude.
One of the smartest guys in the industry.
Yeah, X-Play back in the day, dude. So, then we've got Gravity Rush 2, Hellblade, and it says PC and PS4. So I guess maybe Sony's helping Ninja Theory out with Hellblade. Maybe going to do some exclusive stuff there. Then we got Lawbreakers coming from Cliffy B on PC. We've got Gwent the Witcher card game. We have Fury, which is a really cool looking indie game. If you don't know about that, I would look it up. Coming out for PS4. Neo PS4. Outlast 2. Rise of the Tomb Raider. Come on, PS4. Where you at? We got Paper Mario, because I know you're such a big Wii U fan, Jared. We have plenty of Division DLC coming out throughout the year. Talked about the Telltale stuff. And then Scalebound, Sea of Thieves, Agent of Mayhem, Crackdown 3, Detroit, Nier Automata, Persona 5, Halo Wars 2, For Honor, Tekken 7, Pyre, Final Fantasy 12 re-release, should be a Need for Speed game next year, Battlefront 2, Tales of Berseria, Mass Effect Andromeda, Days Gone, Injustice 2, Phantom Dust, yeah right, Death Stranding, God of War, Spider-Man, Quake Champions, Prey, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Yooka-Laylee, and Horizon Zero Dawn. I think now we are all prepped. We're going to have to get Dom to listen to this show because this is a great prepper, the list that we just went through for
Did you say Sea of
everything
Thieves?
Coming out. 2016, yes, 2017, and even maybe 2018.
Well, you said Death Stranding, so...
Yeah.
That's...
Yeah, I mentioned Death Stranding, so maybe even some previews for your 2019 and 2020
for your kids
sessions
to play when they turn 18.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're actually, what we're going to do is, I was going to do a topic, but I don't want to ruin it. We'll do it probably next week or some other week. The way I'm going to split up this episode is I'm going to do the news in 2 segments, and then we're going to do, Jordan's unheard E3 kind of thing, where he talked about his game of the show and stuff, and then I think the game rundown for the next year or so is going to be the last topic.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a good episode. Unfortunately, Dom wasn't able to join us, but these 2-man podcasts are cool too, so hopefully you guys enjoyed it.
Fireside Groove.
Heading out, what I'm going to be playing this week, some more Fallout 4. One thing you had talked about that I completely forgot about, so I'm going to be reading Invincible, some more Invincible. And I'm actually on episode 9 or 10, I think, of the Ninja Theory documentary thingy.
Yes, dude.
I forgot to tell you, you told us about it and you linked us to it, and I started watching it. So I'm like on episode 9 or 10. It's really cool. So I'll probably finish that up because I think it's episode, 20, 21, 19, something like that, right?
Yeah, they're in the 20s now. They're just like, 5-7 minute dev diaries, and they're really going nitty gritty with that game if you're interested in it, listeners out there.
And I want to check out the Voltron series on Netflix. A lot of people said it's pretty good.
Yes, I've been meaning to see that.
And Game of Thrones finale this Sunday. Can't wait.
Woo!
Obviously, no spoilers. Episode 9 was great. They always hit those episode 9s hard. Home was fantastic.
Yes.
Battle of the Bastards. The Jon Snow shot where he's standing there, that's all I want to get. I don't want to get too much away. The shot where Jon Snow's standing there is one of the best shots in that entire show ever. So great. Great Game of Thrones. Great, best show on television.
Dude, can't wait to see them wrap this season up. I think, depending upon how good the finale is, this might be the best season so far of the show.
Yep. Also excited, we're going to be getting competitive ranked mode in Overwatch pretty soon, either late this month or early next month is from what they're saying, so that's going to be awesome.
That's big.
Yeah. Pretty much just Fallout 4, some Overwatch, probably a little bit of Smite, throw it in there, and that's pretty much it. What about you, Jordan? What are you getting ready to play or watch?
So I forgot to mention this at the beginning of the show, but been playing through this story on Dishonored Definitive Edition on PS4 to get ready for Dishonored 2 this fall, and of course that game has a great story. And I was trying to work on the platinum to get the, get the ghost trophies and all that, where you're never seen and never kill anybody, and then the high chaos, trophies. But that was going to be pretty time consuming, and I really just wanted to go ahead and finish this first game before the second one comes out, without wanting to beat my head against a brick wall. So playing Dishonored, gonna hop back into Witcher 3 now that I've got that update ready to go, and of course Persona 3, I'll be playing that. Hope to God that I actually finish that game before episode 20, because if not, there's going to be hell to pay for me. And then dude, Game of Thrones episode 10 is going to be humongous. I cannot wait for that. Just a couple days away here. And then I've been watching Orphan Black, the TV series. Have you heard of that one, Jared?
Yeah, my design teacher in college loved that show. She would talk about it nonstop.
Yeah. It's not the best show, I will say that. It has its flaws, just like any other show, really. But at the same time, it's a really, really good show. It's an
Amazon Prime show, right?
No, it is BBC.
BBC, okay. For some reason, I thought it was Amazon Prime.
Yeah, they might have it on there, but yeah. Orphan Black, I would say it's light sci-fi. It's about clones and these chicks that are meeting each other for the first time as clones, and how they're discovering who created them and the company behind it and all that. So, like I said, it's not the best show. It's no Game of Thrones, but it is a very good show. And so, if you're into clones, if you're into light sci-fi like I am, I would give it a recommendation.
Awesome. Every week, actually, I hope that you say that you're going to start Mass Effect 2. After you finish all of your...
We're getting close. I was actually about to mention that on this show. Even though I'm thinking that, Andromeda is going to be like later on this year or later on next year, I'm still thinking like it's about time to play Mass Effect, because I'm like kind of itching to get back into that universe.
Yeah, and you have a lot of current commitments that I don't want to get in the way of, because like Witcher 3 is fantastic, obviously, and you want to finish Persona 3. I'm just waiting for you to play that game, because like I said, it's my personal favorite game of all time. I love Mass Effect 2 so much. The DLC is fantastic, so I can't wait. There
are plenty of conversations to be had in the near future.
Yeah, exactly. That's our show, guys. Thank you guys for listening. Share us when you can, like us when you can, leave us a rating on iTunes when you can, all of that good stuff. If you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube if you can. Our Twitter is @CTRLINT. That's short for Controlled Interests. Our YouTube, just type in Controlled Interests in the search bar and you'll find it. Unfortunately, we don't have a custom URL yet until we hit 100 subscribers, I believe it is. But thank you guys for sharing and all the stuff you guys do every week. We definitely appreciate it. As always, we're growing slowly but surely. Any growth is good growth, unless it's like a tumor or something.
Yeah, I would agree.
Any closing words, Jordan, on this two-man chat, our first ever two-man podcast?
Hey, baby, it's that fireside groove. Just keep on chilling, mofos.
Oh, yeah, before we go, congratulations to LeBron James for bringing a championship to Cleveland. That city deserves it, because Cleveland is one of the hardest working cities in the United States, so...
True. Cleveland needs some love.
Yeah. Shout out to Cleveland. Ohio. Catch you guys next time. Bye.